How's it going, everybody? I am back in Fallout 4, and this time I am at Somerville Place. So, this is going to be the next series of builds. Mainly repairing the house and stuff for a little while, for at least a couple videos. Not necessarily repairing the house, but building on to the house, I suppose. This is the idea I had originally, sort of. I'm going to try to do what I had originally planned to kind of do with Croup Manor, because my intentions originally were going to be to build at Croup Manor and like add on to the building, not just repair it and stuff. I wanted to originally add on to it, and I ended up just repairing it because by the time that I had finished all the repairs and everything, I kind of didn't know too much what to do to the actual building itself, like to add on to it. And I had already built so much that the actual like build limit I had already gone through like once or twice, so I didn't want to overdo it. But that's kind of the same thing that happened to the Hangman's Alley. I went through the build limit so many times that it just broke my game. And then I moved on to the Old Gullet Sinkhole. That was really fun. I really liked building at that place using Workshop Anywhere, but I wanted to go back to an actual settlement so I could have settlers in my town that weren't just wandering around. Because even with the NPC mods, or the mods that, like USO adds a bunch of NPCs you can place, there's a bunch of settlers that you can use, guards specifically, and then also some vendors. I end up having to use just vendors and guards because there is a couple of different ones that you can use, and one is called Pillar of Community, and it like just adds different, or it adds food to the actual settlement, like stats at the top. And I think it's like 3 per one that you place. So I placed down 1, and the first thing he did was walk out of Old Gullet Sinkhole and just like down the road. And you can't assign people to the settlement or anything like that. He just left immediately. And I followed him, and then to prevent it from essentially messing up my game, I just went and followed him down the road, then killed him once he got like far enough away, just because I didn't want it to mess anything up. So I ended up just placing down guards and different vendors that kind of fit the vibe of the area, mainly Minutemen and railroad stuff. But this settlement, I actually will be able to build like an actual settlement and have settlers and stuff, so that'll be cool. I'm going to do a lot of housing around the house. That's essentially all that's going to be around this area. I'm going to be doing housing on the roof. This video will have 2 houses that I build, and then I'll do some more later. But I need to pretty much make more places for people to live in this settlement. I don't want to do a bunch of like houses just scattered around or anything like that. I'll probably do some shops and probably some guard posts too. And I'll just try to build up this area, but I don't want it to be like a massive build. I hope that I don't overdo it. I mean, usually whenever I feel like when I do make like massive settlements, it's usually just, it's not necessarily massive. I think I've only made one like actually massive settlement, and that's Starlight Drive-In. Other than that, I think that all of my other settlements are relatively small, but I just I make very busy builds. A lot of detail and a lot of. I like to have like high settler count and stuff, so it doesn't always make it easy on the console. But I think that that's the most fun builds is the huge ones or the really dense ones that have a lot going on. But I'm hoping that I can make something interesting out of this settlement. Right here, I'm doing the first like living area on this edge of the house, and a lot of the houses that I'm gonna build, I think, will be similar to this, but I mean, still different. And what I'm hoping, or well, what I guess I'm trying to do is just make really simple structures like that are kind of attached to the side of the actual house. But honestly, you could do these on the ground if you wanted to. You could make these structures like anywhere. It doesn't have to be on the side of Somerville Place. And then I try to extend the building a little bit. I want to use that piece eventually. That weird angled piece. I want to use all these weird angled pieces. I end up using this one right here in this build later. Not this house that I'm working on here, but another house that I end up making. And then I had a nice little window looking out over the side of the hill, I suppose. It's not really like a great view, but I guess it lets the breeze in. But I go ahead and add some walls on this side as well. I add a roof. I end up going with a flat one. I don't do it in this video. I did it afterwards. I didn't do it in the tour either, but I add these kind of interesting like roof ideas, I guess, that I came up with. Mainly it's just I ended up using the like angled roof pieces from Custom Vanilla Assets, the little like quarter roof piece that's different angles. I end up using angle pieces to kind of connect this roof to the actual roof of the house, and I kind of imagine that it would help with like the water not just running into the side of the house and then like pouring off. It would just, I mean, do what a roof is supposed to do and help it run off of the actual building. Keep water out of your house, essentially. But right here, since the roof is kind of in the way, I didn't want to clip through or anything like that. So I went ahead and I used place anywhere to place this wall like flush with the side of the roof and then even with the roof of the actual shack itself. And then here I had originally kind of imagined that this would be the actual structure, like the stairway would come up and then there'd be a doorway on the side near the stairs. Also, I do that quite a bit, I think, for the first little bit, is making sure that it's not clipping through the floor. And I know I need to move it up as well. So I think that I end up just going based off of like what I can see, and I try to make sure that it's not too high off of the floor down below it, because I want it to still like be like pathable, I guess, for people to be able to walk from the actual roof of the building, or well, from the attic floor up onto this, and that's what I check right there. And I didn't want it to clip or anything like that. And then I thought about putting those stairs, but I realized that it would end up just like clipping through anyway. clipping through the plywood pieces, and you'd be able to see it from down below. Right here, I'm just trying to extend this floor out a little bit. I want the floor to like cover that entire roof area, and I extend the floor out a little bit, uh, and you'll see what happens with that essentially. I end up, because that, what I was saying a second ago about how I extended out a little bit, I end up adding supports not in this video. Same thing as like the roof things I was referring to a minute ago. I didn't add them during the video. I didn't add them before the tour. I added them after, both. But I've built since, so I don't really want to, I didn't want to record again, like, me adding those things. There's no supports in this video, but there is later, don't worry. It's not like they'll stay floating forever. Or unsupported, I guess. And same thing with the other side. You guys will notice that, like, the house that I built on the other side, all it has is some junk walls on, like, the corner. It's because I had an idea for a structure, and that is what I ended up doing with it, is I used the junk walls and stuff. And right here, I'm trying to delete those bushes because I realize they're in the way. They're kind of obnoxious. I can't delete a lot of the things here for some reason. I don't know if maybe my like scrapping mods aren't working properly or what. I know that my mod order works for me, and I recently did another mod load order like video that should have come out on the 19th, I think. But I think that all my mods work fine. I'm just hoping that I don't have any issues. And also, you probably noticed it, but I recorded the mod load order video actually before I did the old gullet sinkhole videos, but I just didn't upload it. I wasn't sure if I wanted to, and I didn't think that it was the best, because I did have some information that I think that you guys could use, the load order links and stuff that I put in the description. I thought that those were really useful sources and stuff about mod load order and everything, but at the same time, like, my load order doesn't necessarily follow by it 100%. So I was like saying like, oh, like, you should, according to this thing, you should do this, but mine isn't that way. Exactly. This is how mine is. This is how it works for me. I don't have any issues with my mod load order, but the source that I had given you guys had a separate thing. That was made by people that actually know what they're talking about, so I think it's more reliable of a source than like what I was saying. So that's the main reason why I was kind of iffy about posting that video in general. But I told you guys a long time ago that I was going to do a mod load order video, so I really needed to get that out to you guys. And then I worked on the old gullet sinkhole. Right here, I'm making kind of what I was referring to before, how I wanted that whole first room, or how this whole first prefab was going to be a house by itself. I ended up not doing that, and I ended up going with like halfway through was where the door frame was going to be, halfway through the prefab, and then there would be like another piece kind of sticking off of that, and it kind of added like a little balcony looking thing with the roof and the supports off the front of the house. It looks kind of nice. And then I added the door frame from Unlock Settlement Objects, the indoor door frame. And right here, instead of doing what I did with the other house where I made it flush with the side of the roof, this one I ended up doing kind of like a group of half walls and balcony railings to kind of make a wall that is, I guess, partially up the roof so that it'll be walled from the like middle of the roof all the way up, and it ends up looking pretty cool. But there's still like the little section of the roof that kind of clips through, which is, I mean, like, it might bother some people pretty much, but it didn't really bother me too much. And all of these are pretty minimally decorated. I'm gonna be doing some decoration in both of them. They're just gonna be houses for each individual person. They're gonna have pretty similar, like, furniture style stuff. You know, I guess just the types of furniture they have. So like a a couch. I think one I just ended up putting a chair, and then like a desk of some kind or like a table of some kind. So nice little living areas for both houses. And then this, I end up just putting some balcony railings, like I said. I end up going with that one because you can kind of see through it a little bit. It just kind of looks like it's been boarded up, and I like that look. And then to kind of go along with that, like, similar feel, I end up getting this wire fence, and I place it in there, and I just try to line it up and make it where stuff's not clipping too much, and it's kind of blended in. It kind of looks like it is part of the full build. And I jump up here, I think, or I tried to kind of get the full view of it, but now I'm just adding railings down. That one worked pretty well. It just let me place it, which is nice, but they don't always do that. Like this one wouldn't work. I almost added another wire fence there. I actually stopped for a second to look at it. I ended up going with this corrugated steel. I used the green one, and I placed that on this side. I like the color. I think that if you have a lot of brown and stuff and you use that, it can really help make a build look nicer. And then I use another one of these plywood looking ones, and I just place it next to the other plywood railing because this one, of course, is rounded on the edges and stuff, so it kind of breaks up that texture, and with also being the same plywood pieces, you know. And then here's the full tour. You can see I have junk walls over here on this right side. I do more with that later. I just did that, and then I was like, I'm going to leave this for now because I'm going to do more with the next build. So the next build will be me working on that. But yeah, it's a pretty simple structure. It just is a little bit added on to the actual Somerville Place house. And then I repaired the roof, or well, the attic a little bit. And then this side, like I said, I ended up adding supports to this afterwards. It may have been after the next build. So that's the main reason that you guys don't see supports now. And I didn't walk all the way around to the front of the building right there, is because I noticed I hadn't added supports. I just added some decorations out here, boxes and barrels and stuff like that. In here, like I said, very minimal decorations. I give each of the people beds and a table of some kind with a box full of some random stuff. And this person actually has a refrigerator filled with food and stuff. So this house, this person is stockpiling food from the farm. And then I like that little roof overhang. And that's kind of the area where I ended up adding the roof. You can see the gap between the roof and the wall. And then you can see I fixed the floors. That plywood piece that was glitched out right there, I fixed that later because I really don't like the texture glitching out when you're like away from it and then walking towards it. And in this house, you come in the house, turn left, you got a nice little bedroom area, I guess. They've got a table with some things. And then around the corner, they've got a shelf with some guns and some ammunition and stuff. This person has got a shelf with guns and everything. And then back here, got a safe that's obviously not working. It's kind of just like a shelf. And a nice little sitting area, like a living room or whatever, for them to just relax. And they've got a nice little view at the side of the hill. But that's the full build. Hopefully you guys like this, and hopefully you guys are excited to see me fix this place up, make it look a little nicer. Next build is going to be like actually doing some stuff downstairs, and then underneath that other house that I had added the junk walls to, like I was saying before. But yeah, hopefully you guys like this build. Let me know what else you guys would like to see me build here besides housing and stuff. I'd like to know before we get too far into the like series, I guess. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.